Okay. Well, I'm here. I'm back. The tree's in my way, because last time I recorded, it was like fall, winter time maybe. It's been a year basically. I think last time I recorded it was November. It's also not as windy or cold, so I don't have to worry about the wind interrupting me. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, with it being a year since my last time being in the tree, there's a lot to cover, and yeah, just a lot that I want to talk about. I don't really know where to start, to be honest. I know I cried last time. This time I'm probably gonna cry too, because I know I'm gonna touch on my brother and him being gone. I set up in like a public park. This is just a tree that I climb, so you might hear people come by. Those are just some little boys that are walking with their parents. Yeah, so you might just hear people talk to each other or to me. Yeah, I meant to bring like napkins or something for when I cry, but I didn't, so I just used my shirt. I'm gonna start with my mom, I think. I'll start with family, and then I'll move on to more personal problems. Let me get some gum real quick, because my mouth is getting dry, and I think that's because I'm anxious. Oh, my hair's different. It's a lot longer. I think I prefer it like this, to be honest. So, with my mom, for anyone that hasn't seen the last two videos, I'll just go over a quick recap. My brother and I were verbally, physically, and emotionally abused for about a decade, from the time I was 6 to the time I was 16, by both of our parents, my mom and my stepdad. So obviously, I think it can be pretty easily understood that me and my mom haven't always had the best relationship, but it's getting a lot better, actually. And I think that is due to the fact that I have matured a lot and grown as a person, and so is my mom. And I think the reason she has is mostly because of her actual health, right? So last year she had 4 strokes. I put strokes in quotes because they're not really strokes, I guess. They have the same exact symptoms as strokes, but they're just not classified as strokes for whatever reason. She has something called white matter disease in her brain. It's not curable, and you can't do anything about it once it happens. You can't fix the damage or anything like that, but basically it just means that the white matter in her brain is being starved of oxygen, and it is dying. And once the white or the gray matter in your brain dies, it doesn't come back. And so about half of her brain is dead. On the outside, she's 90% the same person she used to be, other than her memory is a little bad and her speech. Not that she sounds weird, but her train of thought gets derailed quite a bit, quite often. And I think just given that she has mellowed out a bit and she's been humbled by it, so she takes less for granted. And from experiencing that, I think she wants to work effortfully to have a better relationship with her kids, because now she might realize how finite her time is. So yeah, we didn't really have the best relationship. She hasn't had a good relationship with any of her kids, but it's getting better. It's actually really good. I love my mom, and again, I don't think my parents know this, but I forgive them for the abuse, because there's no reason to hold on to any hatred or grudge, I guess you could say, for what they did. If they were still the same people, then yeah, I think I'd be capable of being angry at them for it, but they've both changed a lot, and I've changed a lot as a person, I think. So, I forgive both of them for it, and I realize that from this point, it's my responsibility to make sure I can handle the health effects that come with that, right? Those specific health effects being just some bad mental health, right? Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't want to scare you, so I was just...
Where's that voice coming from?
Yeah. She has a service dog, and it says nervous on the dog, so I just wanted to let her know I was here, because she was looking around, kind of freaking out a little bit. What was I saying? Right, I lost my train of thought again. I just want to sum up. Me and my mom and my stepdad, we have a good relationship. Me and my brother, we have a very good relationship. It hasn't always been like that. When I was really young, me and my sister used to bully my brother and exclude him from a lot of things and just be very mean to him for no reason. And that's affected him to this day. On top of him being abused. There's just a lot of bad things that have happened to him, and I regret being mean to him. But I try my best to make up for it by being very nice to him and very supportive, and being the big brother that I should be. And since we've both grown up, it's gotten a lot easier to understand each other and to be there for him. So yeah, he and I have a very good relationship compared to how it used to be. Me and my sister, we also have a good relationship, but we've always had a good relationship. It's just getting better, I suppose, or staying the same. She's had another kid. Her name is Penelope. So now I have a nephew and 2 nieces. So that's really nice. It's just more family to have. And I love all of them. They're very nice to be around. And since they're little kids and they do a lot of stupid stuff, I just think that they're really funny to hang out with. They say a lot of funny stuff because they just speak their mind. Tyson, he loves to tell me that I stink, and it's really funny. And then whatever he says to me, Hadley copies him. So if he calls me a stinky doo-doo head, Hadley will do the same thing, and then she makes herself laugh a lot. So she'll just like crack herself up all the time. They're very respectful kids for the most part, especially to each other. They use manners with each other, like their brother and sister to each other, obviously. So you'd think that, you know, maybe they fight a lot, but they're actually really nice to each other. And it's odd to see because growing up in my household, me and Noah weren't nice to each other when we were younger. So it's nice to see that my sister is raising them so well. I think I'll just move on to the next big thing that's happened recently. I guess I'll go in chronological order. So, in February of 2021, it was on February 19th, I crashed my car into a tree at exactly 4 in the morning. I think it's 3:55 maybe. And the reason it happened is because I wasn't driving very smart. It was very icy and very snowy, and the snow and the ice started to melt, and you could see the road almost completely. But I was being dumb, and I didn't think about or take into consideration black ice, and so I hit black ice going 45 miles per hour, and I spun out and hit a tree. It impacted my driver's side door at about 40 miles per hour, and I hit my head on the glass, and it totaled my car. My airbag didn't deploy. None of them did. My car just got banged up, and I think my side airbag deployed. I know my steering wheel one didn't, but my side airbag might have. But yeah, I crashed my car and totaled it, and in all honesty, I still kind of feel the effects of that. Very rarely, but maybe like once or twice a week, my immediate memory, like when I'm talking, I forget what I'm saying, or sometimes I forget what I'm doing, and it gotta give myself a few seconds to remember what I wanted to say or what I wanted to do. And then that was just really stressful, because I had to have a way to get to my job and my school and stuff like that, because I lived on my own. I moved out when I was 18, so I was 19 when that happened. So yeah, it was really stressful trying to find another car. Luckily, I have one. I have good credit, and I have good financial health, I guess you could call it. It's the right term, I guess. So I got a loan for $13,000, and I got a new car, and I was very fortunate to be able to do that, right? So I'm paying that off right now, but I have a good car, and I still am good with my money for the most part, and I got a new job. I went from working at Walmart to working at Nissan, and so now I work at Nissan. I just started actually. This Monday, in 2 days, the Monday that is about to start, will be my 3rd week at Nissan. And so I'm paid $4 or $5 more than what I was paid at Walmart, and I get overtime every week. I work 8 to 10 hour shifts depending on what they need. You don't have very set schedule. It can change once you get there and they realize like, hey, we're not making enough items in that certain moment, so we need to stay an hour or two later. So I can work. My regular shift is 10 to 6:30, 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. I work third shift. We come in an hour early sometimes, or we stay an hour late. So there's a 2-hour deviation, an hour on each side of the shift. But yeah, I make good money, and it is really tiring because I do third shift and I do college at the same time. So I'm not exaggerating when I say that I am only home to sleep. I don't have a lot of free time. I'm off today, and this upcoming night, I'm off, and this is how I'm spending my free time. That I'm not trying to make that sound negative, but I don't really have any free time anymore, in all honesty, because even after this, I'm gonna go home, and I'm either gonna change and go to the gym, or I'm gonna do homework and then go to the gym. I think in all honesty, I don't want to do homework first, but I'm gonna do it because I need to, and I need to prioritize. So yeah, I got a new job, and I like it. It's pretty easy. In my shift, we make about 600 to 700 car doors every shift, for Nissan, obviously. So my hands are tired. I don't know if you can see very well, but my knuckles, these ones, they're a little bit swollen, and they're slightly bruised, maybe. Not really anymore, but yeah, they hurt. My hands hurt when I do this. I've never had sore hands before, but like these muscles right here, and my fingers, and this, like the outline of my palm, and my fingers, they hurt. So yeah, let's see, so we were in February, we're gonna move on to, March. March was when I started dating someone, and it was going really well. In all honesty, we moved pretty fast, but I won't say it was a mistake, because it felt right. So, we moved fast, and after being together for like 2 months, we moved in together, got an apartment together, and then we just recently broke up like 2 to 3 weeks ago. Hello? That bird's going crazy. Okay. Hello? Oh, hi. Can I help you? No? Shh, please. Shh. Okay, I'm just gonna talk over him. Yeah, we broke up pretty recently, like 2-3 weeks ago. And it's kind of tense in our apartment, but luckily there's 2 bedrooms, so we sleep separately. And being on third shift, it makes it easier to deal with it because we don't really see each other or talk to each other, so it gives us more time to ourselves. And it makes it easier to kind of deal with it. Because personally, I'm someone that likes to detach after being in a romantic relationship like that. So I spend my time detaching completely from that other person. So her and I have been friends for, I won't say friends, I guess, but we've known each other for about 5 years. I think going on 6 years now, maybe. And the way it works with me is after I get out of a relationship with someone, I have to detach from them completely, almost to the point, to where it's like I didn't know them, so that way I can restart and build up a new friendship with them that isn't created from being in a relationship with them. Does that make sense? So I've pretty much already done that already, and I think I'm ready to start talking again, not to other people, I mean like to her, start paying attention to her again. So yeah, And there's people. Sorry.
Yeah, they could just not do it. Because kids who
Again, I think we were in middle school, maybe. I don't know, maybe not middle school, elementary school. But we were in 10th grade. Like, this is not useful at this point in time.
Sorry. This video is going to be, let me try again. This video is going to be, completely unedited because I don't really have the time for that, and I don't really know how to do it, in all honesty. So it's just going to be unedited. So when I'm quiet like that, just skip past like 10-20 seconds. What was I saying? Right. So yeah, I think I've detached pretty well from that relationship that we had and those feelings, and I think now I'm ready to have a friendship with her again. And I know that all of that sounds probably kind of like cruel and maybe unnecessary to just I kind of act like I don't know her or not pay attention to her or give her the time of day, but I don't really know how to not do it, to be honest. From growing up the way that I did and experiencing the things that I experienced at such a young age, just, obviously all the abuse and a lot of my family members and my sisters dying or leaving or just not being there in my life, I learned to detach really quickly and easily, and I'm just really good at it, just detaching from people. And so I still use that as a good tool for whenever I need it. But I don't do it as often because, like I said, I've grown as a person, and now I prefer to be very intimate with people. Not in that way, because intimate, its definition is closeness. It's not a sexual thing. It's just used sexually to be intimate with someone. So yeah, I prefer to be more emotional and sentimental and intimate with people instead of constantly detached and absent from people. Does that make sense? So yeah, that aspect of my life is looking up again. So, obviously I'm single, but I don't really know if I could handle a relationship right now anyways because of being so unavailable to myself, even because of my lack of free time and my excessive busyness, just in my day-to-day life. So I think that if her and I did stay together, we would have been able to manage it because we were already together for, we were already together for like 6 months. So heading into a job where I'm only home to sleep, I think that it would have been difficult, but we could have maintained a relationship. It's just that we chose not to. And I think the problem is starting a new relationship with someone when I'm in that situation. It wouldn't be fair to them, and I don't think it would be a very full relationship. I think it would be kind of hollow. And I don't know if I'm ready to get into another relationship right now because I need to start taking care of myself again. My mental health and my physical health, there's just things that I need to focus on. And I recognize the importance of that. So I'm starting now. I was in therapy. I've always loved therapy since I started it. It's really nice. And I feel bad for the people who unfortunately have had those therapists that follow like a script. My shirt just fell. But yeah, my therapists, as far as the ones that I've had 4 now. They've all been very genuine to me, and I can tell that they're not really following a script or a questionnaire or anything like that. They are just being human with me and trying to help as best as they can. And although I'm not a therapist and I'm not trying to be one, it's inspired me to be as helpful as I can to other people and to be there for people whenever they need it. And that's why I make these videos, because one, it's very therapeutic to just talk to my phone about anything I want to talk about, and I put it online. And secondly, I make these because these are accessible to everyone that has internet and YouTube, obviously, which is almost everyone in the world. I'd say that's like maybe 75 to 80% of the people in the world, they have those things. And so for those people that need it, they have it. They have someone there that is being transparent and telling all about themselves, and hopefully those people that watch them, hopefully the people that watch these videos need something from them, and they get it. They get that support even though they don't know me. They realize that someone else is going through these things and that they're not alone. And I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but check the description of this video and any other video that I put up, because in the description there are numbers for hotlines, multiple hotlines. I think 5 to 10 different hotlines. There's numbers for them. Easy access for people that see these videos. In the description, I'll let you know, or sorry, in the comment section, I'll comment, hey, look at the description. So yeah, making these videos, it's very nice to me. It's very therapeutic because there's no audience in front of me, so I'm not really anxious about it too much. I just sit here, and whatever comes to my mind, I talk about it, and it's there forever. And I don't have an issue with that. I like being transparent and truthful and open. And I like to talk about myself, as narcissistic and egotistical as that sounds. But I think everyone loves to talk about themselves in some capacity. Yeah, with therapists, the most recent one I have right now, she's actually the one that has diagnosed me with PTSD, which I had a pretty good hunch that I had it, but I think my eye-opening, let me try that again. I think the thing that opened my eyes was when I worked at Walmart. This one specific time, I was out on the sales floor doing my job, which is just to pick groceries for the customers. Hi. Good, how are you guys? And yeah, so I was out there picking the groceries, doing my job, and so what happened was I heard this young boy, he was crying, and it was bothering me. It was getting to me, getting under my skin, but I just kept doing my job, and I tried to ignore him as best as I could. But it just kept getting harder and harder. I was exposed to it for like 15, 20 minutes, and I did my job. I took my groceries that I had picked to the back room to put them where they need to go, and then I just started crying, and I had a panic attack right there, and I ran away to the bathroom to try and be alone. But my boss was in there, so I was just crying in the bathroom, and he came out of the stall that he was in, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was drying my eyes, and I was like, "No." And I started crying again. And he just kind of looked at me, and he looked kind of sad, and I was like, "Can I have a hug?" And he was like, yeah, sure. And I hugged him, and I was hyperventilating and crying all over him. And he was like, come on, let's go talk about it. And so, yeah, I just told him everything that happened. And basically, it's just that my main trigger is kids crying. Specifically young boys. Because when I see it, or when I hear it, it reminds me of my brother crying after things would happen at home, right? So when I see or hear of those little kids crying, it kind of forces me to think about Noah crying, and it makes me feel sad, and then it kind of scares me, because it throws me back into those moments and those emotions, back into that time when I would experience it, and it's just a flashback. And when it happens, I feel like I'm being thrown into some sort of protective mode where I need to go find out why that kid is crying, and I need to do something about it. Because with my brother, that's what I would do. Anytime I saw it happening to him, I would protect him any chance that I got. And so I've associated that with crying, and it just makes me feel like I need to step in and do something about it, because that's all that I did for 10 years, was experience it and then try my best to make some reconciliation about it and try and keep it from happening. And if I couldn't keep it from happening, try to fix it afterwards and make him feel better and feel safer. And I don't know if he realizes it or if he'll see this video, but I do a lot for him, and I've done a lot for him, and I would do anything for him, anything that he needed, or anything that he asks of me, I would do it in a heartbeat. And in early May, he left for basic training for the Army, for airborne infantry. And I didn't know it then, because at first I was just really proud of him and really happy that he was doing it, because I knew he was scared and anxious about it, but I wanted him to do it because I know what he's capable of, and I'm a very firm believer that you can do anything you set your mind to. I really do truly believe that. But after him being gone for a month or two, I started to get really sad about it. I would have nightmares about him getting hurt while he's there, not by the training, but by other soldiers, other recruits trying to hurt him. And the main thing that stems from is our childhood, obviously, protecting him every chance I got. And it's ingrained into me to take care of him like a dad, like a big brother. And when he's gone, it freaks me out, because I don't know if he needs me or not. And if he does need me, I don't know if he needs me because he's lonely and he wants his brother, or if he's in danger and he needs someone to help him and to protect him like I've done for so long. Because I feel it's my sole, never mind, I wouldn't say sole purpose, but I feel like it's a very big part of me as a person to take care of him. In one of his letters, he wrote to me that another recruit threatened to beat him up. And I told him I'd kick that guy's ass, because I don't care. I'm not really scared of anyone. And I know I look skinny, but I don't know. If I have to beat someone up because they're being mean to him, then I'll do it. And he was like, no, I'm okay. And he was like, yeah, the army, that's what they do. They're just teaching me, you know, how to kill and take care of myself. And I was like, yeah, I know that.
Some other like fairly amusing ones that he has like and multiple
Here are the letters he's written me so far. Got 6 of them. I know you can't see because it's bright green, but I write the date that I get it in the mail and what number it is. So this is the 6th one he sent me.
No, I don't. We'll have to get something when we're done.
And this is what I write his letters in. Obviously they're not in here because I send them to him, but this is the part of one of them, or the beginning. The first letter he wrote me, it was just very plain. You know, it's just a letter telling me how he feels and all that. Hi. And when I wrote him his letter back, it was the first one he got from me.
It really is just about perfect, isn't it?
I wrote the date, and I wrote the time that it takes me to write the letter. So this one I started at 8:30 in the morning, and I wrote a little bit, and I stopped at 9:45. Then today, started at 10:56, and I wrote to 11:43 while I was at Waffle House, right? And I do that because I want him to know exactly how much time I spend on him and his letters, because I think he would want to know, and I think it just adds a little something to the letter, makes it more special.
Don't go back up it. Don't go back up it. Don't go.
One second.
All right, girl. It's taking too long. Let's get this along, little lady.
Whoa! I lost you. You okay? Would you like to go on that steps and have to jump down?
There we go.
Anyways, sorry. Yeah, and then hit the second letter he sent me, he started doing the same thing. So I like to think that I started that. I like that, I do that. It's just an extra touch to put into it that makes it a little more special. We know exactly how much time we spend on each other. And in the margins of the letters, we leave little notes. Like if he messes up a word or something, he'll draw an arrow from the word and he'll just put fuck. Like, oh fuck, I fucked it up. You know, something like that. And letters, you know, they're just really special. They're a lot better than texts and phone calls because I can keep them, and I will keep them for my whole life. And a letter is really special because your handwriting is very much you. It's really unique to you. And I don't know, it's just really nice to get the letters from him. And sometimes I feel really bad because it takes me a really long time to write him back. The last letter I sent him, it took almost a month and a half to write it and send it to him because I was really depressed and I didn't really feel like writing, even though I had a lot to say. And it sucks because the longer it takes to write that letter, the more and more and more that I have to write about to him. You know, does that make sense? So it's been almost a month since I've written him another letter, and it just means there's more for me to write to him about. And I write to him about almost everything, just like how I talk to my phone about almost everything. So it's a lot to write to him. And this one specifically is me telling him how much I miss him. Because the past 2 or 3 days, I've just been crying about it. And it hit me really hard that I miss him. And I know it was kind of obvious, but I think I just have some severe separation anxiety concerning Noah, because I feel such a deep need to protect him and take care of him and make sure he's safe and okay, because I might blame myself if anything were to happen to him. And I know that that's stupid. I can think of so many scenarios where it's not my fault. But I kind of expect myself to just be there for him whenever he needs it. And if I'm not, then that's wrong. I'm supposed to be there for him. And that's a very high expectation to have of myself, and I realize that, but I can't help it because of that bond we formed through the trauma, which is called a trauma bond. So it's recognized in the psychiatric community, a trauma bond is. But we're also brothers, so it's a little deeper than that. I think also, overall, this past week or two, I've just felt really lonely. I think part of that has to do with my breakup, not having someone there romantically, but also my lack of free time. That's because it's all being taken up by work, and my lack of friends. I know I have friends, so for those of you who watch this, I recognize that I have you and I appreciate you a lot, but when college started, a lot of my friends went out of state to go to college, or they're still nearby, but they're busy. It gets more and more difficult to mesh schedules together and make something work. It's really difficult, and that just means it leads to lack of social life, especially with me, because I'm already someone who doesn't really have a social life. And that's by choice because I'm an introvert. I usually prefer to stay home. I can sink literally 16 hours into a video game because I love video games. That's just an example. But when it comes time that I actually want friends and people to hang out with, and they're not there, it sucks, and it makes me feel really lonely. I have one very good friend that lives out of state, and I love him a lot. He's a really cool guy. I'm not going to put any names out there unless it's family, which is why I haven't said my ex's name and I haven't said my friend's name. But yeah, he lives out of state, and he's really cool, and we've known each other for like 4 to 6 years. And in all honesty, I don't really remember when it started. I'd say sophomore or freshman year of high school. And our friendship has grown a lot in the last year, and that's because I let him live with me because he needed a place to stay, and I didn't hesitate. I was like, hey, come stay with me. And I didn't know that that was illegal. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't care. I didn't know it was illegal, though, because I lived in an apartment and he wasn't on the lease. But I was like, hey, you can come live with me, I don't care. And he stayed with me for like 3 months, I think. I probably have that wrong, but I think it was at least 2 months. And that was really nice. I liked having him home with me. It was nice. And I have a really good friend here in town. She was a coworker, and we bonded very quickly, and we just kind of vibed together really well. And she's someone that I'm really open with, and she's really open with me, and it works really well. The same with me and him. We're very open with each other, and we're just there for each other whenever we can be, right? And yeah, it just feels really nice to have those kind of people. I told him today, actually, that I'm there for him no matter what, and I really did mean it. And I said that I want to be that kind of person in his life that really is there for him no matter what, because you don't have a lot of those people in your life. Luckily for my mom, she does. She has 2 or 3 of those people in her life that really are there for her no matter what, even if they are in or out of state. And if he can start gathering a list of people for him that are like that for him, that are there for him no matter what, if he can start doing that at a young age that he's at, then that's good for him. That's really good. And he is there for me no matter what, and I know that. And I'm so extremely grateful for that. It means a lot to me. And I just wish him all the best in his happiness and his health. And the same for anyone that watches this, and for anyone that has been in my life, is in my life right now, or will be in my life. Because being a mean, anger-filled person is not fun. It's just really, just makes you feel kind of sick, right? And trust me, I know it's really hard to kind of get out of those things and to get out of those feelings and to take care of yourself when you really, really don't want to. But everything gets better, and everything will feel better. And just like how I really believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to, I really do believe that there's good in everyone and that everything gets better in time. So I think I'm close to ending this video. I thought I would be here for longer than this, but I guess I talked fast, or I didn't have as much to say, or maybe this is my third time doing it, so I'm getting better at it. And yeah, remember, check the description for those numbers that could be important to you. If you ever need them, don't hesitate to use them. That is their sole reason for being there, and that is why they were made. Do not ever freak out about calling the suicide hotline, for example, because they are not going to send you to a hospital. They don't send the police to your house. Even if you tell them that you're going to kill yourself, they try to help you. They only send law enforcement in a very, very, very dire situation where they really, really can't help you. So don't ever be afraid to call them or use any of the other hotlines that are there, because it's why they were created. And don't be afraid to reach out to me either. If you need me, I'm gonna try to limit how much personal information I put in my YouTube videos, but in the description I'll leave an Instagram handle. You can reach out to me there, or you can leave a description in the video and I'll talk to you right there and we can trade some information. Yeah. If you got this far, and if you've watched all my other videos, or if you didn't get this far, or if you didn't watch any of my other videos, I know you won't see this, but I'm very thankful for everyone that sees this, because my goal is to have this go viral, because I want as many people to see this as possible, and I want to spread good messages, and I want to spread hope within people. That reminds me of something. I've started to find new ways to express myself, because throughout my life I've always wanted an artistic way to express my emotions and my thoughts, and I've always tried drawing and painting and it never worked out, because, I'm not trying to make something perfect, but I am trying to make something that is perfect to me. I'm not trying to make something that's perfect to other people, because I'm not trying to sell it. I'm trying to make something that's perfect to me. I want it to be, whenever I paint or draw or do anything artistic, I try my best to make it a perfect representation of what's in my head, because to me that's what I use art for. I use it to bring what's in here out here, right? I want people to see it. I don't care about selling it or how good it looks unless it looks bad to me. And that's why I give up. Because if I'm doing it to put what's in here out there and it doesn't look good enough, then to me it doesn't do it justice. If I want to paint about my depression or my PTSD or my anxiety and it doesn't look good enough, and I don't think it's really doing it justice and conveying it to other people how I want it to, then I don't feel happy with it and I just give up. And so I started with painting and drawing and I wasn't happy with it. And then I started singing and I'm very happy with it, because I've always had a very, very deep connection to music.